More than half of Americans over 65 have gotten at least one shot, but it's going to take all age groups to reach herd immunity. That includes kids. And new polling shows parents with kids under 18 are not totally buying in. Axios Ipsos found just over half plan to get their children vaccinated as soon as they can. What are the implications? Dr. Awais Durrani joins us. He's an emergency medicine resident at UT Health in San Antonio. Dr. Durrani, almost half of parents are hesitant then about getting their kids vaccinated, especially when it comes to Republicans. Can we get to herd immunity if they hold out long term?
Right. So I think as a parent, and anything that's introduced to your child, you're a little hesitant. You want to make sure that it's going to be safe for them, that it's going to be okay for them. So I think we approach it from that kind of perspective. It's okay for parents to initially be hesitant, for them to ask questions, and it's incumbent upon us to answer those questions. To answer the question about herd immunity, 20% of our population is under the age of 18. With vaccine hesitancy out there amongst the adult population, we are going to need a good proportion of that under 18 group to get to herd immunity. I think pediatricians in this country do a great job of getting shots into arms throughout the lifespans of kids. And so parents have a trust with that and that process. And so I think once those shots are available in clinics and a family has that conversation with the pediatrician, that number will start to go up.
Do we know how long these vaccines are effective?
Right, so we're still learning that. We know that they, at minimum, are 6 months effective, but likely more. We found out yesterday that 6 months in, you still have a 91% efficacy rate when it comes to mild to moderate disease, and still 100% effective when it comes to severe disease. We also saw that the antibody levels are very high. Looking at that, I'm very optimistic. I think they probably will last for, years. But that's the reason we still have phase 3. Yes, that is a possibility. With how high the antibody levels are, I wouldn't be surprised if, we need a vaccine every 2-3 years kind of thing. But that's why we have phase 3 trials. That's why we kind of follow this through. And that's why we don't do guesswork. That's why the science is important here. But these results that came out yesterday were very promising.
And does that mean that we would not have to get boosters, or is it still possible that as these new variants come out, we pop into the pharmacy for a booster?
It's possible. So, we're going to have to look at how efficacious they are against the variants, and then just kind of the broader kind of variants out there as well. So it could be you need a booster every 18 months, every 2 years. It could be if you have a particular variant that's more predominant in your part of where you live, you might need a booster. So there's still a lot we're going to learn, but what we found out yesterday was positive for sure.
And just to put this in perspective, the pipeline of vaccines, it has not dried up just yet. We do have 3 that are out there right now, but just today, I believe, there's a new formula that's starting trials in Thailand, Vietnam, Mexico, Brazil. I've read that it's lower cost and potentially more potent.
Exactly. I was looking at something yesterday, and there's 100 countries that people have not gotten a single dose of vaccine in. And so it's promising that we're still developing new vaccines that are going to be potent, that are going to be cheaper to produce, and that are going to be easier to transport. That's going to be kind of the big determining factor in terms of when the globe gets back to normal. We found out that these variants travel very easily. So until we've all come out of this pandemic over the course of the next year or so, we're still all going to be very vigilant.
Dr. Awais Durrani, thank you so much for joining us here at Newsy, and thanks for everything you do every day.
Thanks for having me.